Dear students, in the last class we were discussing about AC generator, how AC is produced in an AC generator, what happens to the produced AC when the complete rotation of AC or armature occurs, and you have learned what is frequency, cycle, etc. of AC. Okay, now here going to discuss about another device which also produces electrical energy and is DC generator. So first of all, let us go through the diagram. Have you seen this diagram earlier and just before chapter? Do you remember the diagram? It is somewhat similar to a DC motor, isn't it? Which we have drawn in the earlier chapter, and we have learned the different parts of that device. Okay, so the diagram is similar to that one, but here it works and produces electrical energy. Okay, let us go through the things what we have to learn about a DC generator. Okay, first of all, I told you what is the use of DC generator. It is used to produce DC or direct current. It is used to produce DC or direct current. And what is the principle behind this DC generator? Here also, the working principle is electromagnetic induction. The principle of DC generator is also electromagnetic induction, as in the case of AC generator. Then what energy change takes place in DC generator? In both the generator, in the case of AC generator and also in the case of DC generator, mechanical energy is converting into electrical energy. Mechanical energy is changing into electrical energy. Okay? Then, when we discuss about any device, after the energy change, what we discuss? We discuss about the different parts of that device. Okay? So, when we go through this diagram, one end is north and the other end will be south. As in the case of AC generator, these two parts are collectively called as what? Field magnets. These are the magnetic poles which provide the magnetic flux lines. And in between these two, we can find the armature, which we have learned. What do you mean by armature? What is armature? It's a soft iron core wounded with insulated copper wire. Okay? And either ends of this copper wire is connected with two metallic half rings. In the case of AC generator, the two ends of the insulated copper wire were connected to two full rings, and we call that rings as slip rings in the case of AC generator. On the other hand, when you go through this diagram, these are not full rings, they are half rings, and these half rings are known as split rings, and the two ends of the conductor is connected to that two half rings. Okay, I told you what is the name of these rings. They are called split rings. These rings are known as split rings. And here we have two graphite pieces. We call as graphite brushes. Graphite brushes. So these two are the graphite brushes. Okay. So 4 important components or parts. First one, field magnets, which provide the required magnetic flux lines. And in between the two poles, we can find the armature, a soft iron core wounded with insulated copper wire. Then the either ends of the insulated copper wire is connected to two half metallic rings, and these half metallic rings are called split rings, and these split rings are in contact with the two graphite brushes. Okay, so that are the four different components or parts of a DC generator. And the graphite brush, from the graphite brush, conductor reaches to galvanometer. So the representation of galvanometer here. Then I told you DC is produced by DC generator. One thing we have to remember is, so we learned how to do the diagram, then we learned label the diagram. Now we are going to discuss about the working of a DC generator. One important thing which we have to remember is, both in the case of AC generator and DC generator, when armature revolve inside the field magnet, armature produce AC. So in the case of AC generator and also in the case of DC generator, inside the armature AC is producing. Okay. And in AC generator, that produced AC is taken to the outer circuit with the help of slip rings and graphite brushes. And here, instead of slip rings and graphite brushes, we are using split rings and graphite brushes. And this system, you have learned this name of this system in the earlier chapter, split ring commutator. This system help us to convert that induced AC into DC in the external circuit. When it passes through this conductor, it becomes DC. Okay? So actually, when armature revolve inside the field magnet, an AC is produced inside the armature. This AC is converted to DC with the help of split rings and graphite brushes. Okay? Okay. Look here. We can write the working of DC generator like this. When armature revolve inside the field magnet, magnetic flux linked with the armature changes and produces AC. So here AC is produced. This AC is converted into DC and transferred to the outer circuit with the help of split rings and graphite brushes. Okay, then how this split ring convert AC into DC? In each half rotation, the position of the split rings interchanges. Due to this, we get DC in the external circuit. When this armature rotates, in each half rotation, so first of all assume this. In first case, R1 will be in contact with the B1 and R2 will be in contact with the B2. When it starts to rotate, in the first half rotation, R1 will be in contact with the B1 and R2 will be in contact with the B2. When it changes to the second half rotation, the contact will be changed. R1 shifted to the position of R2 and R2 will be shifted to the position of R1. So in the second half rotation, R1 will be in contact with the B1 and R2 will be in contact with the B2. And this process continuously happens when armature revolves. So that we can simply say, when armature rotates, in each half rotation, the position of the split ring interchanges, and due to this we get a DC through the external circuit. Okay, clear? After DC generator, we have to discuss about three different types of graphs. So you can see the graph. Each graph is plotted by taking time along x-axis and EMF or voltage along y-axis. So here there will be origin, then positive part and negative part. Positive, negative and negative parts are also marked in the graph. And we have to analyze each graph based on its two nature. Above based on its direction and based on the EMF produced. Okay. So first of all we can discuss about the source and what type of current is representing these graphs. Okay. So first one is an AC. Okay. So first one is AC. And what is the source of AC? AC generator. So if you see a graph like this and you are asked to say which type of current or name a source which produces this type of current, then what is your answer? This type of graph represents an AC, and an example for the source is AC generator. Then second one, this graph represents DC. Okay. So second one is DC, and source, cell, batteries are examples. What is the examples for these types of force? Third one is also DC, but somewhat different from the graph, like earlier graph. So also DC, but this DC is produced by DC generator. So the differentiating factors are direction and EMF. We are going to analyze the nature of direction and EMF of each current. When you go through AC, it has a positive part and negative part. That means the direction of AC is continuously changing. Then what about EMF? Its EMF is also increasing and decreasing. Increasing and decreasing nature. Okay. So we say the direction changes continuously. EMF changes continuously. Or we can say increases and decreases. So in the case of AC, simply we can say both direction and EMF changes. Okay, such type of current is AC. Then move to second one. Say DC. And what is the peculiarity of DC? We can find the current only in the positive half, not in the negative half. So what about its direction? Direction do not change or doesn't change. What about EMF? Here the EMF is steady, not increasing or decreasing. It flows in a particular potential. For a second, if you take a cell, cell, it will give you a voltage, a steady voltage of 1.5 volt. So always it keeps a 1.5 volt EMF. So EMF which also does not change. So in the case of DC obtained from a cell or battery, its direction doesn't changes and EMF also doesn't changes. So here we have another DC source, DC generator. So when you go to the direction, here the current only flows in the positive half, not in the negative half. So what we can say, the direction does not change. It flows only in one direction. But what about EMF? EMF is increasing and decreasing, increasing and decreasing, increasing and decreasing. Increases and decreases. Okay, clear? So we have three different types of graphs that represent three different types of current. So first one is AC, and source of AC is AC generator. And when you consider the direction of AC, its direction changes continuously. When you go to the EMF of AC, it is continuously increasing and decreasing. And another one is DC obtained from cells or batteries. When you go through the graph or when you go through the current, the direction does not change. It only flows in the positive direction. Then EMF is steady. It flows in a particular voltage. So it is parallel to the x-axis. The third one is also a DC source, but DC is produced by DC generator. So somewhat different from the DC obtained from cell. Then what is the difference? Here also the current is flowing in positive half. So in the earlier case, direction doesn't change. In the same way, here also the direction doesn't change. But what about EMF? EMF is increasing and decreasing, increasing and decreasing. Or we say a fluctuating DC is producing in a DC generator. Then can you give the reason for that? Here in cell, chemical energy is converting into electrical energy in a steady manner. But in the case of a DC generator, the electrical energy is produced on the basis of the number of flux broken. So when number of flux broken increases and decreases, the induced EMF also increases and decreases. And because of that reason, the DC obtained in generator will get a shape like this. It happens continuously. Okay, clear?